For tuning in with us on tonight. I am your girl, Latoya B, and I'll be your moderator. Now, tonight's show, you guys, we have some powerful topics that we're going to be discussing, but none of that will be possible without my amazing co-host, starting with
TK.
Senpai.
And Aubrey.
And again, we are Straight Up Shoppe. Now, Straight Up Shoppe, we are a vodcast where we just talk about life, situations, as well as those unfortunate circumstances that life tends to throw at us. And I'm sure, you guys will be able to relate. Now, on tonight's show, we have, like I mentioned, some powerful topics. First up, we're going to have my girl TK. She's going to be discussing youth abandonment as well as child abuse. Followed by my girl OB with gender equality. Now, Straight Up Shoppe, we're powered by NoSense Media and BodyGuardTV. So, let's make it make sense. All right, so how are you guys feeling tonight?
Pretty good.
Great.
Good.
All right,
I'm
good
glad
deal.
to be here.
Good deal, me too. Now, I know first up we have my girl TK, and this topic is one that's not, easy to talk about, but it's definitely important that we do discuss it, just to bring enlightenment to it. Youth abandonment and child abuse. And so, as I always say, this is Straight Up Shoppe, so let's get straight to it.
What's up, guys?
What?
So I chose youth abandonment and child abuse because, of course, I have two little ones, so I can always relate to certain stipulations. But I know you guys remember when the pandemic first started and they started closing down schools. A big topic on the news was these kids got away from home, and now they're being pushed back into home. So it would be more suicides, more deaths, and abuse on the kids.
Right.
So I decided to do a little research, and for everybody that don't know what abandonment means, it means the action or fact or being abandoned or abandoning something, loneliness, and what can cause that is death, maybe a relationship loss, or abuse and poverty. So I came up against this 6-level approach when I was reading these articles, and it caught my attention because I wasn't aware of some of these things, but I know some friends that are aware of them. So I was like, okay, well, let me, because when my friends vent to me, I like to make them feel like, not make them feel, but like let them know that I'm there.
Right.
And if I can relate, I can relate.
Right.
So I'll go through the 6 of them, then I want to pose a question.
Okay. All right.
The first one is therapy, self-care.
Mm.
So even when you think that maybe you looking down one day, like just simply putting your hair in a ponytail, combing your hair out, or putting on eyeliner. I know some days, me, myself, I put on eyeliner just to make my kids, see I'm up, I'm running. Like today is a new day.
Right.
Making sure all of the emotional needs are intact, whether it's in a relationship or friendship. Don't ever leave them feeling lonely. Like, let them know that they can come talk to you, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Supporting and validating them. Letting them know you can relate, you care, you can come talk to me at any moment. Right. I know a lot of my friends deal with marriage. I'm not there yet, so I can't relate, but my mom is married. So what I see is what I know,
Right.
So I try to relate in that aspect.
Right.
And I just always let them know that I'm not judging them. I'm here, and we coincide with each other,
Exactly.
And that can go a long ways because you never know if a simple hug to a child or how you doing, like smile to them. I know when I'm in the store a lot of times, I'll see a kid and I'll be like, hi.
Right. Yeah.
That might be the only smile that they get,
Right. Right.
So that might brighten their day. But be present. Be there. Like, don't be there, but over there with your mind. Like,
Right.
focus in on them. Just talk to them and get them through it together. Normalize their situation as if it's your own situation. You'll never know how, like, when I was reading this, I'm like, dang, I always can relate to something in some kind of way because I've been through some things. And a lot of that stuff my friends can relate to because, birds of a feather, they say flock together.
Right.
So, 2 broken homes, we can relate. So, just always be there for, like, your friends, the kids. And my grandmother used to always tell me, listen to your kids, because you never know what your kids are trying to tell you. And a lot of this stuff that's going on with these kids stem from these kids trying to talk to their parents, but they're not there. They're there physically, but it's go to your room.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. Like, you know, they just throw it away. Like, our culture itself, we got to work on loving on our babies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, letting us know that they have a home, you know, protection. I don't think we do that enough. And I think that stems to a lot of abandonment and suicides. I think that stems or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading an article off of ICAP. It's International Care for Assault Prevention.
Mm-hmm.
And it stated that 40 million children below the age of 15 are subject to child abuse every year.
Wow.
I never knew that.
All right.
Like all types of abuse, or I mean,
Yeah,
because you know there's levels.
Yeah,
but
well,
it's like just talking about all kind of abuse.
well, it said up to 80 to 89% would every child would suffer physical punishment at home.
Ah, got you.
And then with a third of, I think is a lower 7% of that experiencing severe punishment.
Oh, got you.
So I'm just like, have y'all guys ever, can y'all relate to that? Like, because I have 2 kids. So, of course, I don't whoop my kids, but I do. I try to go different routes because I think every child is different.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and beat one child, but then I barely tap this child.
Right. Right.
So
right.
you know, I try to do them within each other to see, you know, because my baby boy is older. He's 8, and my daughter is 2. So that's a 7-year difference, generations.
It's so funny you say that. Just yesterday, my youngest daughter, she's 13, and she said, "Mom, did you ever whoop me?" You know, she asked that question because she said to my oldest daughter, you know, I have 4 children, and she said to my oldest daughter, "Oh, I know that you got whoopings." You know what I mean? Because she showed up, but she didn't remember that, and I told her, you know, because her dad and I divorced when she was younger, and so she didn't get. And, you know, she was still coming up and learning, kind of getting popped or spanked, but not really like whoopings, right? Mm-hmm. But you do have to be careful with that. When you say, can you relate? I remember, you know, growing up or whatever, my dad was the disciplinary in, you know, my family. And not just with, like, me being his child, but I'm talking about my cousins. So everybody knew, you know, when uncle come around and if you're outside with no shoes on or something, like you were going to get in trouble, and he was a disciplinary. And so there had to be a fine line there because, you know, I'm light skinned. So I remember a time that, you know, he had whooped me, and then there was bruising because I'm light skinned,
Right.
and you know what I mean? And so I don't think he necessarily tried to like abuse, you know, me, but you do have to be careful because when you send your children to school, and they have that, yes, they look at those things.
They're the ones keeping the record.
Absolutely. And also something you mentioned on child abandonment, when you say pay attention to the kids and be present and all that good stuff, I know also when you have multiple children, you can't raise each child the same way. They all have different needs, right? So you may have the quiet child who you can't yell at. You know, all you have to do is look at them, and then they understand the correction.
Right.
Or you may have that one, which I have one, who, you know, you have to get in his tail because a simple yelling at him is not going to work. You know what I mean? So you do have to, I just encourage parents to know if you have multiple children, know each child and the method that they need. You can't apply it to everyone.
That's true, because my son is more of a laid-back cat. And then my daughter is that rah-rah one, but she like, I'm going to peep the scene. But no, I'm watching you.
But she's so precious with her pretty
And
self.
looks can be deceiving. But that's okay, you know, that's okay, because all my life I was raised, like, you know, people thought because I was pretty I couldn't fight. Or that case, so that's okay, because it'll help her later on. But I have to watch how I handle my son, because he's older. He's there, you know what I'm saying? He understands, he's very smart. And my daughter, she tries me. So I have to just let her know, give her a little inch, like, stop trying me, sis. Because I'm gonna play with you, but you stop playing with me at this point.
Right.
So that's true. You have to watch how you raise both in different generations and the different learning methods, and just pay attention to their needs, because it's always different. It's always different. But Senpai, do you know anybody that deals with that, or?
I mean, I know a lot of people who deal with it, but me personally, I feel like, and not even just with the black community per se, I feel like parents need to differentiate between a correctional whooping and whooping with anger and emotions because of what your child did. Because it's, there's a fine line, but if you walk it, because, you get
That's a good one.
like thinking about, being light-skinned, right? You understand, like, okay, obviously what you did can't go unpunished because we know
Right.
that.
Right.
I mean, think about the psychology behind the whooping. It's because society's going to treat you like that. So you can't go unpunished. But there should be a fine line between, okay, I see that you now know that you're not going to do that no more, right? Versus, I'll make sure it is in there because, I'll make sure it's lasting, but you really just beating in trauma, Like, oh, snap, if I do anything else, it's like, oh, I don't want to be like...
I remember that whooping and still have the mark.
Yeah.
That's on my arm.
So I just feel like that's something that needs to be talked about, Whooping
Right.
for correction and whooping, because you're angry at what the child did.
That's a
Right.
very good point.
Right. I agree.
Yes.
I agree. Aubrey, have you ever witnessed it or had to deal with it?
Girl, yes, honey. I remember being in elementary school, and I can't remember what it was. I think I was like maybe in the 3rd grade, and my teacher did not like me as a student. And being at home with my parents, I believe that at that time, my mom and my father were going through a difficult situation to where they were thinking about divorce. So it was a lot of anger in between him not being there, her being a single mother. But I was telling her, Mama, this teacher don't like me, And her name was Miss Colley, okay?
remember.
Miss Colley did not like me, okay? So this particular time, Miss Colley called her, and she was at work. And needless to say, when I got home, it was a new type of whooping. This whooping was no longer with the switch or with the belt. It was with the extension cord.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And at that point, I could just remember the electric shocks that I was getting every time I was getting those whips and those hits, to the point to where the mark that she left turned black and blue and busted open my skin.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, why are you beating me? Like, this woman is really after me. I'm seeing the things that she's doing. She's really treating me as if that she does not like me. And I don't know why she does not like me. But she does not like me. And so eventually she got the picture. But that was more so when it was too late. It was 2 months down the line. But after she whipped me, though, she came. I remember just crying myself to sleep because I was in so much pain. And she came in there and she was just like, oh, I'm sorry. Don't do that again. And I'm looking at her like, girl, you just didn't beat me for no reason. And even being in the 3rd grade and being so young, I was just like, this is not right. I don't feel as though that I should have gotten that deep of a discipline because of you not really understanding the concept of what's going on.
Right.
You're probably taking out your frustration on what's going on because you're dealing with this situation by yourself on me. And then when you realize that, oh, I shouldn't have went that far, it was too late.
Right.
So what if something could have possibly happened and I could have had a heart attack because you are whooping me with a weapon that was freshly taken out of the electrical socket. Electrical volts are still going through this cord.
Wow.
And you are having a good time with it
Right.
Yeah.
to give me the discipline that you think that I deserve. No, ma'am.
Friend, you've been through so much, and it's just like so loving to see that you don't look like what you've been through.
No, not at all. I mean, I could tell you a lot of stories and, have everybody over here crying. But I feel as though that those tears were meant for me to cry.
Right.
And those moments were meant for me to be able to help somebody else that may have went through my situation
Right.
to say that you can get out and you can be just successful as I am. And
Right.
those people that did that to you, you can learn to forgive them.
You gotta just pray for them.
But you just have to, you can pray for them, but know that that prayer is up for them to accept it.
Right.
And it's
Right.
up for them to realize that sometimes those actions that you're doing, it's all about accountability.
Yeah.
We learn about these things so much, and I feel like for our community, oh, well, I did it because my mother and my father did it to me.
Right.
But that's one thing that you vowed that you would never do to your own children.
Right.
Right. Right.
So, I did some research in Texas simply because I'm not from Texas, but my kids are, and I don't ever want to be the next statistic. But I've said it. I don't with my kids. They get pops, but my voice is very traveling.
Right.
And it's very standish.
Right.
So when I speak, they know when I'm playing and when I'm not playing. And when I look a certain way, they know I'm not playing with you. So no, I don't with my babies like that, because I just feel like there's a different way for everything.
And you know what? Not to cut you off, sis, but I'm glad that you pointed that out, that and own it, that you don't whoop your kids, because you know in our Black community, that's what a lot of us know to pass down, right? Is you better whoop their tail and get in there, you know. And so the fact that you don't, and you own it, and you say, hey, I don't whoop mine because you found another way, I applaud you for that.
Like, I have whooped my son and I do pop my daughter, but when it goes to me whooping them,
Right, whereas
no, I don't. There's a different way, and I think with me talking to them, we can get through it together.
right.
And I'm not here to show you that this is what my mom did to me, my dad did to me. I'm not here for that. I'm here to break the generational curses.
Right.
So with the research that I did in Texas, though, it stated that the child abuse in Texas, 175 Texas children would be victims in abuse. 175.
Oh, wow.
175. And it wouldn't tell me the cultures and whatever, but just the fact that it's 175, because we are all one at the end of the day. And 1 in every 10 child will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday, taking us to 7.4 million children residing in Texas, equaling 740,000 children that will become victims that have experienced trauma, have significantly higher rates of heart disease, chronic lung, pulmonary disease, depression, and diabetes. 74 million.
And that's with all different types of abuse, not just physical, but emotional trauma.
Yep.
Okay, that's wild.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's just crazy.
It is.
And that's just in Texas.
That's
just in
what
Texas.
I'm saying. Like, we haven't even added up what the whole nation.
Honestly, it's probably more that's unaccounted for.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because that goes back to what happens in our house stays in our house.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The generational curses that I'm breaking, like with my children.
Broke. Like you said, like I think a couple shows back where you were talking about letting your child know if somebody touch her area, that's a no-no.
Absolutely.
Right? And you practicing that, that's
Absolutely.
something that she definitely and truly needs to know.
Yeah.
Your
But,
son too.
oh yeah, they both know. They both know. Like, off limits. Don't touch me. And if you have to fight, and I'm gonna be there. But that's not, you know. But before we go, I have found the Children's Advocacy Center.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to provide this information because you never know who's watching. You never know who needs it. It provides a safe, child-friendly environment where law enforcement, CPS, prosecutions, medical and mental health professionals are there. And the website is www.cacti.org/local centers. And it's a box where you will put your zip code, and all of the centers will pop up that's in your area.
That's lit.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Alrighty.
That's dope.
That's good. And that information, that website is where they can check it out for more information regarding child abuse or youth abandonment.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the website one
Okay.
more time? I gotta like remember it.
The website one more time is www.cacti.org/local centers.
Okay, good deal. I thank you so much for sharing this, powerful topic, yet sensitive. But again, as I mentioned, it's something that we need to shed light on because there's a lot of hurting children. And, we have to care about our children and our community as a whole. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
And at this time, you guys, if I encourage you guys just to stay tuned. I'm going to grab a Kleenex real quick. And we're going to cut to a commercial, and we'll be right back for Straight Up Shop.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance.
Hello and welcome back to Straight Up Shop. If you guys are just now tuning in with us, we just had a powerful conversation by my girl TK with youth abandonment and child abuse. Real quick, I just want to thank our sponsors, Yala Coordinators, CrossFit NAC, and Alani New Energy Drink. So thank you so much for our sponsors. Now, TK, I just want to thank you so much for that powerful discussion.
Absolutely.
But at this time, we're going to go into the second segment of our show with my girl OB. How are you doing, sis?
I'm good.
Good deal,
How
good
are
deal.
you?
I am good. Just trying to get myself together because our sis tried to have us in tears there for a minute.
Listen, flashbacks.
Yes, yes, and I appreciate you for being transparent with our shoppers and viewers and opening up and letting us know. Okay.
Absolutely.
But as we move into your segment of the show, when we talk about gender equality, again, I know that's something that's passionate to you and near and dear to you as well. And so, as I always say, straight up shop. So let's get straight to it.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. My name is Aubrey, but the cast calls me OB. Okay. I'm just going to talk a little bit about gender equality, kind of give you guys a little bit of information on this, what we could be able to do in regards to our community. I know there's like a wide spectrum of things in regards to gender equality, but I just want to kind of focus on the primary issues that we have within gender equality, okay? So I'm going to start off on the definition, because a lot of people may not know what gender equality is and may have experienced it, but just don't know exactly what it is. Gender equality, also known as sexual equality or equality of the sexes, is the state of equal ease of access to resources and opportunities regardless of gender, including economic participation, and decision making, and the state of valuing different behaviors, aspirations, and needs equally regardless of gender. So, what does everybody think about that definition? Just to start off, a quick question.
Spot on.
Like,
Yeah.
nailed it.
Right.
To the point. Okay. So I know that a lot of things in regards to gender equality that we face, a lot of people really don't understand is that it really affects the mental situation. Mental illness with gender equality is horrible across the spectrum, because we have so many people that feels as though that you only have one role that should participate in certain things, and that's just how it should be. But it shouldn't be equal to anyone else that may be different outside of that spectrum. So when we're thinking about what's right, it really and truly messes up with your psyche. You're like, why is it that I'm not good enough and I may have the qualifications to utilize this thing? One thing that I know for sure that people really have a big issue with is women that are truck drivers. Why is it so big of an issue for a woman to do a man's job if that's her passion? If she wants to get behind an 18-wheeler and start her own business, why is it that the first thing that comes to your mind, or anyone rather, oh, that's a man's job? A woman should be doing womanly things.
Right.
That could be biased. Because what about the men that are getting into the things that you feel that they shouldn't be into as well?
Right, like customer service.
Exactly. Right?
Right.
So, one thing that really caught my attention when looking into this is that the mental illness in women for gender equality is 29% compared to men, which is 17%. And in regards to that, what do you guys have to say about that aspect?
And can you repeat that statistic again for me? I just want to hear that again.
Mental illness in women is 29% compared to men, which is 17%. What do you guys feel about that?
Ooh.
I mean,
Really?
with women having a higher percentage is because, I take the title of the song. This is a man's world. You know, I feel like if it's looked at as if this is a man's world, then there's going to be some kind of altercation, right? Now, I'm not saying that I'm for it, right? Because I saw everybody turn heads real quick. I'm not saying I'm for it.
Well,
because-
no. That makes
Right.
sense. So go ahead.
Right. But you know, it's just how our society is ran. You know, it's just, oh, the women shouldn't be doing that. Like you say with truck driving, there's no problem with a woman starting, you know, a trucking company. But once you think of a truck, you're like going back to your mental state, right? It's a big truck, 18-wheelers, long hours. The man's gonna be gone. You know, has to take care of the family provider, and that stems from the alpha male superiority complex. Right? Men thinking that because women are weak, I have to be a protector, instead of just naturally wanting to be a protector. You know, so that's why the number is higher with women and men.
Good answer. Anybody else want to take a look at it?
Well, this is kind of, you know, y'all just follow me here, okay?
Go ahead, sis.
Just follow me.
Go ahead.
So, when you think of mental illness, you think of mental illness, right? MENTAL, mental illness.
Right.
When you think of menstruation, it starts with men, MEN, menstruation. When you think of menopause, it starts with MEN, menopause. Y'all following me?
Right.
So a lot of our problems are started because of a man.
Let's see.
So,
Now, I'm like, if we're gonna go there, that is the version of
wait,
feminism.
though.
No,
So
what?
to
It
piggyback
gotta
off
stop.
of what
It gotta
Joyce said,
I'm just saying.
so she
You
took
know.
it right into what I was going to say.
I'll do my bro.
Doing it today.
I need B Pride here with me. I need B Pride here with
Not
me.
today,
man.
Right.
brother. But, so, to go off of what Toya said, nailed it.
Check mark.
Because if y'all think about it, like, not taking anything from men, I like honor y'all. Like, I really do. But we go through so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, we go through so much. Taking care of the kids, you know what I'm saying? Even families that have the father in the home, understand me, that half of them are not there. You get what I'm saying? They are there for the roof over their head. So women go through so much. Going to work, paying for everything that I do feel like it could be a 50-50 if it's another person in the house, you know what I'm saying? Like, making sure the kids got everything they need. Like, just having that other half of help will go so far. And little do you know, like, having to do all that as a woman and still keep yourself up and still do things for yourself
Right.
is draining.
Let me ask you this: why do you feel as a woman that you need to do those things?
Well, I won't say that I need to do it because I do it. So I'm speaking trying not to be biased.
No, I'm just asking questions. I'm just poking.
Because
I'm just
I
asking
am a
questions.
single mother,
Right.
and I think I do a great job. You get what I'm saying? And I do think my mental is in a healthy enough state to be able to continue on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I don't need a man. Will he be great to have one? Yes, only if, you know what I'm saying, he's bringing to the table. Like, I'm no longer going to deal with the ones that just want to have a roof over their head.
Yeah.
So I'm just being honest, you know what I'm saying? So even though there is a man in the house, you just know and understand that all of them are doing something. And if they are, they, you know what I'm saying, top notch. But all of the men that's in the house with you are not doing something.
I
Okay.
feel that.
So, I've got some things that I definitely want to talk about now that we've gotten mental illness out the way. That one thing that gender equality plays a part in. I gotta get my words right. So, one thing that I saw that we could be able to change, because I was not just looking for things that were the problem. How can we resolve the problem? It's about resolving it. It's not always about because we can come up with so many issues, but how we can be able to fix them is more so of what I look for when I'm thinking about these things. So one thing that I came across is confronting gender equality or gender stereotyping by social media. So we have to figure out a way to be positive in these people that are always going right to social media being negative about gender equality. Stop putting that on social media. How can we be able to stop all of these additional things from happening when we know that people go right to social media to learn new things? So if the first thing that you see is, I don't feel that a woman should be in this position, because of my beliefs, then you're going to have other people that may feel the same way, that it's just starting a whole negative experience.
Right.
As to you saying that I feel that everybody should be equal no matter what they got going on, male, female, part of the community or not, you can be anything that you want to be. That's what we're told when we're kids.
Right.
You can be anything that you want to be. But when we're stepping into that position, oh, well, I don't feel that a woman should be a police officer, or I don't feel that a man should be a cook, or I don't feel that all of these additional things, it gets
nurse.
draining.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're telling me that the sky is the limit for me to be so successful, but you're really taking it back from me when you're saying that I can't or I shouldn't be in this position,
Right.
or I didn't get hired because of my skin color or my sex or any of those additional things.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have to say about that?
I mean, respect goes a long way, right? So that's a really big issue to overcome, because I understand it, because you know when you put something negative on social media, such as inequality, it's hard to. I mean, first you have to just respect it. I mean, if I'm able to do the same job as you, and I'm just as educated as you are, and and we hold the same title, but your pay is more than mine. I mean, it happens all the time. And how to fix that, sis? I really don't know. I know we have to just respect each other as the same, but unfortunately, society doesn't. I know, like you said, we know the issues, right? Yeah, I'm a solution. I just know
But
that,
they
like, the
just- they
respect,
don't
but
agree.
it's.
But honestly, in my opinion, being on the male spectrum of this, to be an ally, I feel like, right, it's just like with BLM, right? Just having white people speak up, right? With having men speak up for women, like,
Right.
this
Yeah.
isn't fair,
Yeah.
right? To take your same situation, like, no, she is qualified for this position. Like, she spent more
you're
hours
right.
longer than me. Like, she knows the company, yada yada yada. Because sadly, because of how society is, right? That person who's already in the mindset of, oh, it's a man's job, is gonna look at a woman and be like, why are you even talking to me? But if it comes from a man, from a psychological aspect, a man speaking to a man, he's more liable to listen. Like, oh, well, maybe she does have some qualifications since this man recommended her, right? Now, it's still not all the way there, but it's progress, right? But it starts with having allies.
So men
That's true. That's so
peaceful
true.
protesting about these situations or bringing knowledge
Right.
to the swept under the rug concept of, okay, she may have that bachelor's or that master's, but I still want a man to be in this position, even though I know that she can bring the skill set of what I'm lacking.
Precisely. It doesn't matter if you're a superman or superwoman, just be super. You
Right,
feel me?
because even when we think about, and I don't want to get too political, but when we just simply think about, the President of the United States, when Hillary was running, and it was just, I mean, it was more of a woman-man thing than it was a Democrat-Republic,
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
definitely.
And so, even on that level, it is still a major issue, unfortunately.
Absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. Well, that I really and truly have so much more that I could talk about in regards to this topic, but I wanted to be able to kind of just bring a little light, because I know that we'll come back to this at a later time. But more so of it, I wanted to talk about the mental health of gender equality and also those examples, because I know that pretty much all of us may have had that moment to where we felt as though we were definitely qualified for a position, but come to find out it was because of that gender equality. Maybe you may went to some retrospective to where they may feel that you were not in need of that position because you were a man. As to us as women, we've all experienced walking into that interview. I got these questions. I know exactly what I'm going to say. But and yet you're told at the end of the interview, oh, well, we have other candidates and we'll get back with you when we can.
Right. And I think, sis, another thing we need to start doing is winging out them CEOs or the ones that's up there that think like that. We got to get them out of there.
Yeah.
Stop being scared of them. You know what I'm saying? And report them like you report everything else.
Period.
Yeah.
And that's just that on that. Report.
Report them like you report anything else.
Absolutely.
Because those are the ones that's keeping that mindset of the business up.
Right.
Right. And I know that we just have to do better in that area, even when it comes to relationships and the men, and because I can take out the trash and he can cook, and then and you think back in the day the roles are reversed and all, and it gets all complicated if you're traditional or if you're new school, and even in your relationship, who should do what, the duties and all of that good stuff. I'm just like, whoever do it best, let's just get it done.
Right.
That's just what works for me, but not everybody. But with that said, at this time, we're going to cut real quick to a commercial break, and I encourage you guys just to stay tuned with us. We'll be right back. Straight Up Shop.
Hey everyone, my name is Erin Nicole. I am the owner-operator of A. Nicole Entertainment Management Group, and I want to cordially invite you out to my first annual A Industry Networking Mixer. It will be held July 11th, 2021 at Chocolate Lounge Exclusive in Dallas, Texas. This event is for any and everyone in the entertainment industry. If you want to become a part of the entertainment industry, please come out, get some good information on what you need to do to be successful in this environment, and also enjoy foods, drinks, and a few special performances. Again, we look forward to seeing you July 11th, 2021. Feel free to reach out to me by email at erinnicole@anicoleentertainmentgroup.com or by phone at 469-796-9594. Hope to see you there.
Don't look at all. You're dead to me, Maurice. Now get the fuck out of here.
So y'all, what are we doing? I think we should rally on the strip. Rally on the strip for what? It's not our own people killing us.
One day I was over there and I overheard him talking to his friends about the gay people.
My mother was a lesbian. She left my father for a woman.
Just because Chris came and tried to holler at you, didn't mean you had to take the bait. You should have shut that shit down and not even go along with it.
Man, you stay the fuck out my face with that bullshit. Or what? Or what? What the fuck you gonna do?
Mama, have anybody seen Maurice? No, what's going on? Another attack.
Wait, how do you know about Daniel?
I ain't had nothing to do with Justin and them other folks getting hurt. And if you say that I did, then we got a problem. We got word on the street that you or somebody you might know something about that Texas been going on around here.
Why can't you accept me like Kimberly accepts her daughter?
When you're sober, that is when we'll have this conversation.
Wow, that dude doesn't care. You know this.
Maurice, it's time for you all to come together and talk and just let bygones be bygones.
No.
For the first time in my life, I'm scared.
Michael and Tiana has a perfect marriage, but someone has the guilty pleasures. But when the welcome home party turns to flames, from the people who brought you Burning Flame, But I'm Married and Discreet, I Am Corte Entertainment brings you a story on family secrets, marriage, love, and friendships. Starring LaToya Brown, Chris Rogers, Garrett Thomas, Nisha Ladeau, Nasu, Taiwan Smith, and Erin Nicole. Cortez' Perfect Marriage Guilty Pleasure stage play, directed by Prudence Sneed and written by Corte. 2 shows June 12th at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Get your tickets now.
Say what?
And welcome back to Straight Up Shop. Thank you guys so much. If you're just now tuning in with us, you missed, some awesome topics that we had. And right now, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. And be sure to check out Out in the South on YouTube by I Am Corte Entertainment, A. Nicole Entertainment Management Group, as well as Perfect Marriage Guilty Pleasure Stage Play. It's written by Corte, directed by Prudence Sneed. It'll be out June the 12th, 2021, 2 different times, 3 p.m., 7 p.m. And come and check out your girl. I'll be starring in that play.
Whoa,
Okay. So be sure to get your tickets. And so, yes, once again, we want to thank our sponsors. Now, at this time, I just want to hear your final thoughts. If you're just tuning in with us, we just had some amazing topics from my girl TK, youth abandonment and child abuse, as well as my girl OB with gender equality. And I just wanted to hear you guys maybe share some final thoughts, maybe some tips, with our viewers on how you felt about those topics as a whole, maybe something that you didn't share before that maybe you just want to enlighten our shoppers on.
Well, the one thing that stuck with me when my grandmother told me is when I have kids is to listen to my children. And that's the biggest thing. These kids need their parents. These kids need somebody to talk to. And my mom is my best friend. I can go to my mom and I can talk about anything. So I just listen to your kids. That'll take away some of the abandonment and some of the child abuse. Just listen to your kids.
Yeah, I have to second you on that. Just making sure that we can furthermore create the open door policy.
Yeah.
I feel that people in our community we really need to cut that out of a child needs to stay in a child's place. Generations have changed, so children are more knowledgeable about things that we may not have been knowledgeable about until we got older. Technology is something that has evolved, and it is more and more important for the children to be able to have a safe space to talk to their parents about anything that's going on.
Yes, and I agree there too. When you say it's a different time, new generation, because a lot of times when you see like a bad child or what we label as bad children, right? I know that when we talk about what is the illness, autistic, and so sometimes you may think that the child is just bad or whatever, but they could be autistic. They could have, ADHD
Right.
or, different kind of illnesses or something going on. But because they're not what we, just sit down somewhere and, they're all
Right.
over the place, we just tend to say they're bad, right?
Or we can't handle it.
Right, exactly.
That part.
And so instead of having the conversation and trying to see, get into therapy with our children
Right.
and being present and not just providing, being present mentally, right, as well as physically, then I think that we'll be able to, help the children out. And as I said, we just got to do better as a community, as a culture, all together. Yes. And so with that being said, we're just going to jump real quick. We're going to take another quick final commercial break. And so I encourage you guys just to stay tuned for Straight Up Shop. We'll be right back.
what? Let me take this out because it's gonna make a whole lot of noise. I'm gonna just sit there if that's okay. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't want them to make a whole bunch of noise. Okay.
And welcome back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, CrossFit NAC, A. Nicole Entertainment Management Group, Yala Coordinators, as well as Jailun Hunter Foundation presents Cigars and Stilettos on Friday, May the 21st from 6 to 10. Purchase your tickets on Eventbrite. Now, without further ado, we have a special guest in the building that we're super excited about. Yes, the one and only we have here, Miss Shantosha Shaw of Jailun Hunter Foundation. How are you doing on tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. I'm so glad that you could join us here on Straight Up Shop.
Thank you
We're
for
super
having me.
no problem. Super excited to visit with you about the awesome work that you have going on here in the community. And so, with that being said.
Most definitely. So we just want to ask a few questions just to get to know the Jailun Hunter Foundation more, your mission. So the first question I want to ask, if you would explain to our viewers, where did the Jailun Hunter Foundation originate? Like, what's your mission statement? Like, what are you putting out there in the community?
Well, of course, I'm Tasha, and I am the founder of the Jailun Hunter Foundation. The Jailun Hunter Foundation was founded because of a tragedy. Jailun Hunter is my son. On March the 14th, 2018, after signing his college scholarship in the direction of going home, a drug driver took his life. So what was supposed to be the happiest day of our life turned out to be one of the worst days. But after seeing the legacy that my son left and after seeing the lives that he touched, I knew that there was something that had to continue. I could not allow his legacy to stop there. So my mission and my goal is to continue the legacy that he started, and that is uplifting, encouraging, and inspiring kids in the community and at-risk young men.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
Powerful. My goodness. And, you know, just as a mother, you know, strong woman of strength. My goodness.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I know that your baby is definitely proud.
Thank you.
So I just want to get into something just a little bit deeper. The Jailun Hunter Scholarship, which is so awesome that you want to give back.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you for sharing that story because it's so powerful. How can one go by submitting for one of the scholarships that you guys offer?
So what we ask, right now we're just reaching out to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're helping at-risk young men. There's a lot of opportunities for young women, but not a lot of opportunities for young men.
Correct.
So we want to make sure that we reach out and try to pull some of the young men who are going in the wrong direction. We want to pull them into the right direction. So they can actually apply for the scholarship online. The website is jhfoundation.net, so they can go online and submit a essay, and the essay topic is on the actual on the website. They can also submit via email to Jailun Hunter Foundation at Gmail. They can submit their essay there. And what we do is we have a board members who actually read the essays, and we select 2 students per year to give a scholarship back to.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Yes,
awesome.
ma'am.
That's
Awesome,
amazing.
awesome. And now on the essay, is it like a 500 word or
It's a
something?
500 word
Okay.
essay, yes ma'am.
Okay, yeah, make them think, sis. Make them think. Make them
A
think.
500 word essay, yes ma'am.
Yes, make them think.
So I just have another question for you. Outside of the website that you have, are there any social media links, or how else are we going to hear about the Jailun Hunter Foundation?
Absolutely. We have a Facebook. You can find us on Jailun Hunter Foundation by searching in the search topic, Jailun Hunter Foundation. You can also find us on Instagram at jh.foundation. So we're on all social media platforms. We're also on LinkedIn, Jailun Hunter Foundation as well. And we have the website, of course, that's jhfoundation.net.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. And just for clarification purposes, if you could just go ahead and spell your son's name, Jailun, just to make sure that they can find you.
Absolutely. It's Jailun Hunter, Hunter, and Foundation.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, hon.
Absolutely.
So how can someone, if they was interested, I know we have people who always want to give back, especially to an amazing cause, right? So how can someone donate to the Jailun Hunter Foundation?
So we have various ways. Of course, you can always go on the website. Again, that's jhfoundation.net, and you can select the donation tab. You can also donate via PayPal. You can donate via Cash App. It's $Jailun. I'm sorry, hold on. JH Foundation 18. And also every 21st day of the month this year, since Jailun would have celebrated his 21st birthday this year, every 21st day of the month, it's called J Day 21. And we ask people to donate $21. So you can do that via Facebook. You can do that via Cash App on JH Foundation 18. You can do that via the website. So we are trying to reach our community. We're actually having a event on May 21st. It's called Cigars and Stilettos. It will be at the Chocolate Lounge, and that is a fundraising event. It's a networking event. So if you have a new business, if you're trying to find out about business, we have a business credit analysis person who will be there to help you understand how important business credit is and how to get business credit set up. But that's a networking event, but it's also a fundraising event for the Jailun Hunter Foundation as well.
Beautiful. That was actually my next question.
Okay.
Like any other events that you have outside of the Chocolate Lounge and J Day, which is actually amazing. I want to hear more about that.
You want to hear more?
I would love to be a part. Just $21 donating every 21st day of every month. That's beautiful.
And I tell people all the time, we spend $21 at Starbucks.
Oh yes,
we
do.
So going toward a good cause, that $21 goes a very long way. Yes.
That is so awesome. All of this good work that you are doing for your baby, I just really love and admire you for that.
Thank you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And which is so easy to do whenever he left behind such an amazing legacy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, he did. And I tell people all the time, you never know how strong you have to be until you have to be strong.
Right. Ooh, yes, ma'am. And I want to, now besides the academic scholarship with the essay, do you guys offer any other services?
Absolutely, yes.
With the foundation?
Yes. We offer mentorship. We want to... Our mission this year is to actually go into different communities, go into low-income poverty communities, get a group of young men that will help go into communities and fix fences, paint houses, mow yards, for the elderly community, for low poverty communities. So we want to find ways that they can give back to the community. But of course, that's we need the help of everyone, because during that time we have to find transportation for them to get there. We have to have the supplies for them to do that. So we want to make sure that we're teaching these young men, take them out of a bad situation that they're in and turn their lives around. So we offer mentorship to these kids as well.
That is so awesome. One of our co-hosts, he's not here tonight with us. He had another engagement, Be Pride, but he's definitely strong. He's an activist, and he has started, the Hue, and they go back and they give back. And so I know that's something that he would definitely be interested in, maybe linking up and collabing. When you say the young boys and the fences, oh my goodness, this is amazing.
I would love that.
Yes, so we'll definitely share that information as well. And lastly, I just want to ask you now, as far as the viewers, our shoppers, how could they follow you again on the social media platform?
So they can follow us on Instagram at jh.foundation. They can find us on Facebook at Jailun, Jailun, Hunter, Hunter, Foundation. And that's on Facebook and Instagram link. And they can also find our website on jhfoundation.net.
Perfect. Well, at this time, this concludes our show. I thank you so much for tuning in to all of our shoppers. Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us and sharing your amazing foundation with us. And this concludes another amazing episode of Straight Up Shop with
Senpai here.
I am Latoya B. We have Miss Shaw here.
I'm TK.
And I'm Aubrey.
And again, we are Straight Up Shop. Tune in next time, you guys. Thank you.
Nicole Entertainment Management Group strive to bring your vision to life by helping serve all the needs to assure you have a successful event or presentation. We specialize in booking venues, managing budgets, negotiating contracts and fees, booking performers, managing